Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Prep Talk here at Jackson Prep. I'm Russ Robinson, voice of the Jackson Prep Patriots. A couple years ago, back when Tony Huffman was in the Booster Club, we wanted to come up with a theme or a slogan or something about the sports programming here at Jackson Prep, and both of us together put our heads together and we came up with we're Jackson Prep and winning championships is what we do. Well, if you've been anywhere around Jackson Prep in the last 20 years that I've been here, you'll know that that statement is very true. We do win state championships here, and last year was one of the best years for winning state championships when you look at track and golf and soccer and all that goes with it, and you put all those up there. And that's why when you go out to the baseball field and you see the all sports trophy board that Will Crosby puts up out there, Jackson Prep has won it, I think, 31 out of 32 years, which is a feat that will never be equaled in my opinion. This year, of course, we started out by winning the state championship in football. A lot of people didn't know just how good we were going to be, and they knew how difficult the season before was. But you got a lot of those kids back on this football team this year, and all they did was go out there and only lose one ball game, and then revenge game in the state championship game beat MRA. We got a report on that tonight about the state championship game. And then we're also going to be talking to Coach Robichaux about golf. And then when you talk about championships here at Jackson Prep and you talk about soccer, you talk about John Marcus Duncan and the job that he does here. He coaches both the girls and the boys, and he is involved in championships, it seems like, year in and year out. And last year, got off to a good start and just continues to win state championships. So we will take a timeout, and when we come back, tonight's Prep Talk, we'll talk about state championships here at Jackson Prep.
There are all kinds of letters we need to remember, like ABC, ESPN. But here are some letters you need to remember as well. GAF. That is the best roofing products on the market today, and that's why David Wilbanks and Elite Roofing use GAF. When you deal with Elite Roofing, you know you're receiving the best product, best installation, and best warranty in the market. Call Elite Roofing at 601-856-9426. So when it comes to your roof, you are the letters
Southern Ag Credit has been financing life outside the city limits for over a century. Whether it's helping families own land they can grow with, or farmers manage the land they grow on, Southern Ag Credit specializes in financing life outdoors. Let us finance your rural dream. Visit us online at southernagcredit.com.
Jennifer Mooneyham and the staff at For the Family Healthcare provide personalized healthcare for all ages in a comfortable environment. With a new address at 112 Lake Vista Place in Brandon near Community Place Retirement Home. It is convenient to residents in both Madison and Rankin counties. Health services include anything from wellness checks to the treatment of acute and chronic illnesses. Visit For the Family Healthcare for all of your healthcare needs. For the Family Healthcare, 112 Lake Vista Place, Brandon, Mississippi.
16 speakers, 272 horsepower.
Visit Eric Stallworth at Acura of Jackson, 828 Adcock Street, Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-978-2228.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. Tonight we're talking about championships, and of course this man to my right knows all about it, John Marcus Duncan, who seems to just exude state championships. How many? Not that you can remember off the top of your head, but how many have you had on both sides, girls and boys?
We're equal right now. It's 14 and 14. When the girls won it this past fall, that equaled it up at 14 each, so that's easy to remember. So 28 total, boys and girls, and it's just been a blessing. Obviously it starts out, you got to have great players that buy into the system, and you got to have a great support staff of assistant coaches and parents that really believe in what you're trying to instill in their kids and into the soccer program. Obviously, Jackson Prep's a great place. Athletic director Coach Crosby is phenomenal with allowing me to do what I want to do with this program.
Giving you the tools to
Yeah,
do
the
it.
tools, the staff here, it's just unreal, the support that we get. So, a lot of people think that it's just easy, that you just roll the ball out there and you've got great athletes at prep and you just go. That's not the case, because we know winning a state championship isn't easy, and we're going to get everybody's best shot anytime we play them. So it's our job as coaches to make sure we're focused, and our focus at the end of the year, our main goal is to win a state championship.
This is it's a statement, but it's also a question, because when I do a ball game, I'll go home and I won't take long on the way home. I'll start rerunning that ball game back in my mind and saying, okay, well, I did this and I did this. This was good. This wasn't so good. But I feel good about what I did. How long does it take for you to sink in when you've won a state championship?
It's probably a good 2 weeks.
Really?
It really is. I think that next day you kind of go through the whole previous day, not just the game, but everything that happened that day. We just kind of go back to the girls' state championship this year. We had a walk through that morning, and we watched a little film, and then we had a dinner, kind of a pregame, meal at one of our players' houses, and then we watched some games over there, and then we came back. It was the game was at JA. Got over there, just kind of watched the other games going on. But I think you just replay the whole day. And it's not just the game, it's everything that led up to it, even the week that led up to it. But I just know, like, seeing those girls for the next week or two, every time they're like, that was the best day of my life, the best day of my life. And it's something that I always try to make them remember. You're going to remember this day the rest of your life. Win or lose, you will remember this day the rest of your life. And, obviously it's a whole lot more memorable when you come away with a win. Those are always, you remember the losses, but I think the wins can erase the losses.
I agree with you on that. This game of soccer has evolved.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, back when I was in school, nobody ever really mentioned it. I think they kicked the ball around a little bit outside during timeout. But I go on Saturday mornings down like Shiloh Park Road, and it's just dozens of kids, 3 and 4 and 5 years old playing soccer. And so it's evolved from that into really good soccer programs. And I was talking to the coach at Hines last year. I had the soccer program out there. And I asked him, I said, what makes these JUCO teams so good? And he said, the high schools make us so good.
I would agree. I think, first of all, we've got a great JUCO system here in the state of Mississippi. I've got a daughter that participates in it, and she absolutely loves it. She's at Jones. So I think you see a huge commitment from these JUCOs to the soccer programs. I was fortunate enough to go out to Tucson, Arizona this year to watch the JUCO National Tournament, the Division II, and 3 of the 4 teams in the girls semifinals were from Mississippi.
Wow.
You had Jones, you had Holmes, you had Northwest, and the other team was out of Phoenix. So I think, again, it shows you that commitment. But watching this sport evolve, from when I first started playing when I was 3 years old, and just watching the number of kids start to play soccer and have an interest in it. And I think there are a lot of, what's the term? There are a lot of people like your age that don't really know much about soccer, but have grandkids that might want to play.
I'm learning the game. And
so you're going to have to learn it, But I think just the global interest, I think with the World Cup that we just went through, the Men's World Cup, I saw the numbers for like how many people watched the championship game, and they compared it to the Super Bowl, and it was like 4.6 billion people that the numbers weren't even close.
Right.
I just think that shows how globally that soccer is and how popular it is. And, we're fortunate enough to be able to have it here in Mississippi and have it at a very high level.
Yeah, I was over, is it called Bria? Over in Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was over living in Clinton, and they play a really good brand of soccer over there, and they draw from everywhere.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Rusty Bryant is the owner over there. I know Rusty really well. He was kind enough, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago when he's put a video together just kind of congratulating our soccer team. I think it was when the boys had won their 10th straight. So, fantastic program over there. They do a great thing for those college athletes in the summer, giving them a place to play. We also have another program here called GAFA FC that kind of does the same thing. allows players, those college players, give them something to do in the summer to stay fresh, because once they get into the fall, they're right back into their season. So it's been awesome watching that. We, 2 girls teams here that do the same thing also. So it's fun to see that.
Do you think that the soccer has become big enough now where recruiting is getting harder?
I mean, yes, I think the recruiting for these coaches is difficult for them. And
Especially with a JUCO that only is going to get them 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I love having these conversations with some of these JUCO coaches. And they're like, look, if we get them for 4 months, we're happy. And they say they want to go somewhere else. At least they gave it a shot. And that's what I like to tell these kids here at Jackson Prep. If you've just got that little bit of an itch to go, I still might want to play soccer, go give it a try. Go give it a try. And you look like a Mason Morgan and John Mark Rose, who both went to play at Jones and had a great careers down there. Mason is still playing. He's at Mississippi College, still playing. But the JUCO is a fantastic product. My daughter's a product of it. And you look at some of the other girls like Kelsey Clay, who's already enrolled at Mississippi State, and she's going to be playing soccer there.
Wow.
But I think look, the Southeast Conference for girls soccer is phenomenal. Alabama made it to the semifinals this year for the women's. It just shows you the interest and the investment that schools are making to women's programs. And obviously to men's programs, I think we're a while off from, you see it in men's in the SEC. There's 2 programs that have it, but they compete in different conferences. But it's an investment.
Obviously we have lots of sports here at Prep, and you've got to really be good at time management and what you want to do. But some of these athletes, girls, play 2 different sports.
Yep.
And they do cross over sometimes.
Right.
But my point is, last night, and of course you were doing the game with me, the girls basketball game, we're seeing the maturing and the toughness of a Claire Crosby, who I think has benefited from soccer to help her with her basketball.
Yeah, I agree. I think you saw Claire really kind of grow up in the girls season this year. She had, as a sophomore, not just playing against, when she was JV, I'm only playing against girls my age. And now you grow, you get into the sophomore, junior, senior year, you're playing against girls your age, a year older, and 2 years older. So if you can't adjust to the physicality of the game, then you're going to get left behind. And Claire, as we've seen on the basketball court, is a very physical player, and she played a huge role for us this year. She scored a big goal in the semifinal game against MRA to tie it up 1-1. We went on to win it. Like other girls that play multiple sports, of course, Claire also cheers. She runs track. Abby, soccer, track, and basketball. Emma Reeves is running cross country the same time as we're doing soccer. So, Kate Ferguson, she runs track, basketball, soccer. But I think that also shows you the commitment that we have at Prep to allowing kids to do many sports at the same time. And you talk to college coaches all the time. They like that multi-sport athlete. They'll take that one over that sport-specific one.
Well, they may see something in the sport that's not even their sport.
Yeah.
And say, I like what that person's doing. I can see them doing this in this position. We were talking about it the other day, and we said, John Mark, of course, he's the king when it comes to soccer. But there's something element missing in the soccer game, and the Pacers were brought up.
Yep.
I hear there's a deal possibly in the works.
I think I've got them committed to the February 7th game, the home game against Hartfield. And, I've talked to the captains, the Pacer captains. They said they want to do it, and I know you've got some Pacers that are part of the broadcast team here.
Yeah.
And I think they're excited about it. They said they'd like to come kick on the soccer field, or if we play on the turf, they can do it there. So we've had them one time. It was a while ago. And, you see them at, football, basketball games. Why not come perform at a soccer game? Yeah.
Here's another why not. Why not have an alumni game?
We actually do try to do one over the holidays.
Right.
And it's just, I put it on social media, and, it's kind of whoever can be here. We'll just kind of get together and we'll play, for about an hour. The showing wasn't that big this year. I think the original date that we wanted to do it was the 23rd of December, and that was the day the temperatures went just straight down. I was like, nobody's going to show up for that. And then we pushed it to the following Tuesday, and of course, a lot of these alumni have jobs now, okay, and they've got to go back to work.
Something called a job.
Yeah, it's real life has made its
You're
way.
not
into
going
the
back
plan.
to the dorm after
But yeah,
this.
we've had 20 kids show up. I don't want to call them kids anymore, but 20 players show up, and it's fun. I'll ask them, hey, how many state championships were you a part of? And you just kind of go, I was a part of 4, I was a part of 7, and I think we got like 92 combined state championships between every girls and boys that were playing in that game. So that's always fun. I have retired from that. I mean, I am an alumni here, but my body just says I'm going to stick with I'm just going to be the jogger. I'm not going to be the sprinter or the cutter. So they asked, Duncan, why don't you get out here and play? I was like, guys, I'm good
done.
over
Put
here.
a fork in me. I'm good.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, you excel on the soccer field, obviously, but your broadcast, every
thank
time
you.
I say, John Marcus, if this day thing doesn't work out for you, you might want, but very quickly, you enjoy broadcasting?
I do love it, and it's actually helped me get a couple more little side gigs. Well, a friend called me a couple of times this year and asked me to go do some Millsaps football games, do the play-by-play there, and I enjoyed that. Of course, doing some of the basketball games with the was the northeast. So I do enjoy it. It's fun. It's and I get a lot of compliments on it. So if I'm getting compliments, I guess I'm doing something right. But yeah, I do enjoy it. It's that other part. I have to take the coach out of me and have to take the dad out of me and become the color guy. And that's hard to do. That is really hard to do.
John Marcus Duncan with us here on Prep Talk. We'll take a time out and be back with more in a moment.
The Rogue includes an in-store support of clothing, sportswear, and furnishings. They also provide made-to-measure services for suits, sport coats, pants, and shirting. They have 3 in-house tailors to provide any alterations suitable for your clothing needs.
The Rogue has been dressing men and families in Jackson for over 50 years. Owned by a prep graduate, the Rogue supports Jackson Prep. Come by today and see the latest trends.
Located at 4450 I-55 North, Jackson, or visit our website at therogue.com.
Part of the enjoyment for me is interacting with patients.
I feel like we form a close bond with the patient as they're going through their ailment, their surgery, and their recovery.
As well as the new building, we now have our own physical therapy and our own surgery center.
I think sometimes you take for granted how vulnerable patients are. Enormous amount of trust they're putting in us to do the right thing.
You want the people you're operating on to trust you, you want to become friends with them, and you want them to have a good outcome.
Here at Capital Ortho, we look forward to seeing you and treating you.
Since 1968, Ewing & Ray has been leading the way as the area's premier foundation repair company. With our state-of-the-art equipment, licensed professional engineers, and certified technicians, we are able to ensure the right solution with the best warranty in the business. Whether you have drainage problems, need foundation repair, or need a specialized foundation system installed, for over 50 years, Ewing & Ray is a trusted source to ensure your home or business is safe and stable for years to come. Contact us today by visiting our website or giving us a call.
You haven't had good chicken until you've had Super Chicks. Super Chicks is made with 0 preservatives, 0 phosphates, and 0 dyes. There are many sauce options and a fresh new frozen custard every week. Everything is made 100% cooked to order, so it's very fresh. There's also many fry options such as salt, rosemary pepper, sweet, and Cajun. And don't let me forget the loaded fries. Super Chicks is a great place for prep friends and family to connect after events. And it's so good.
Welcome back to Prep Talk as we continue talking about championships here at Jackson Prep. And I think when you talk championships here, you start with football because football has a lot of them. I think it's around 25 or 26 now. They happen so often, I kind of lose count. But this year's football was pretty special. Coach Goodman came on first year. Didn't know much about him. He didn't know much about us. But at the end of the season, we knew a lot about both. And what we found out brought us a state championship back here to Jackson Prep. Here's the report.
Jackson Prep with 21 unanswered points is going to win the state championship. Jackson Prep is back.
The beginning of January. So every football season kind of starts in January, but this one probably did. We started in January, and you go to lifting weights, and if you look at it, November's so far off. So it's a lot of the grind that we go through. So you start in January, we have weights, and we do our conditioning stuff. You go January, February, March, April, and May, and then finally May we had our spring training. Then we go right into the summer, and we had three to 4-hour workout practices 4 days a week during the season. And then when you get to the season, you have the two-a-days. So if you look at it, all that preparation goes down into making it to that state championship game. And lucky enough, we were able to win it this year. In the past years, since I've been here, I've always had Coach Black. And so he has been here for the 18 years I was here. Then we had Coach Turner. That was 1 year. This senior class was going through their third coach. It's tough on a senior class to do that. Philosophies are a little bit different. The way we call plays are a little bit different. The way we do stuff's a little bit different. So for that senior class, you know, they were a little bit worried having something like that, but they all came together. And so it was a big deal for our seniors to have that, being able to join as a team. And knowing what that Coach Goodman wanted to do, it turned out good. This team was a little bit different. We've had some players who didn't play their junior years who came back for their senior years and was really a lot of helpful. So it was spread out amongst all of the teams. So it was really a big team effort. The MRA, they're going for their fourth, and they're kind of the dominant team. They beat us earlier in the year. So this team was able to rise up, get to that state championship, and eventually win it. We want our players to play intense, to play hard, to give every bit of effort they have every single play. And then to play together as a team. Don't individualize yourself. You know, it's not a matter of who scores the touchdown. Let's just make sure we score the touchdown. It's not who makes this tackle. Let's just make a tackle on defense. And we rally around that with these other coaching staff, making sure that the players know it's a team effort every time we go out on that field. And it takes a lot. So you got a lot of weightlifting, a lot of running that you have to do for players. And then for the coaching staff, there's a lot of watching film and game planning through a whole week. And then the players who not only have a very busy schedule with school, then we've got to get them channeled in for 2.5 to 3 hours for the week and then get them ready for a Friday game. Each week, we have to be a little bit better. And your goal is to get better every single week. Be prepared for anything that's going to happen. Get to November, give your best effort, and be ready to win that state championship. I've been here for 20 years, and I have been through some groups where we won 3 in a row. I was with the group that won 7 in a row. And so this was huge to get Jackson Prep back on the winning side, and it felt good.
Going into the season in the summer, I had no idea if I was going to really even play, and my role kind of stepped up being a starter, and it just meant more once that kind of set in stone, and that we worked real hard all summer, and I really wanted it, and so did my teammates, so it meant a lot. Spending all of the entire summer, countless hours with those guys, allowed me to really become closer with some sophomores that I didn't know and some seniors that I didn't know that I would be as close of friends with, and really friendships that'll last a lifetime came out of that football season. One of the most rewarding feelings I've ever had, just knowing how much time and effort we put into that, and it was a commitment, and we all bought in, and it was worth it. Being the oldest next year, we're definitely have the pressure of being the leader and having to lead the team, and I definitely think we can do it again and win another state championship, but we're going to need the same commitment and effort that we put in.
Being able to come back from my sophomore year and then playing my senior year, it was a challenge because it felt like sometimes I was behind a lot of those guys, and just knowing that I had to work hard and being able to make up the time that I took off, and just understanding that if I want to be a big part of this team and a big role of this team, I'm going to have to work a lot harder than these guys to be able to come back and compete. And it is something that I had to learn, and something that Coach Goodwin did a good job with me, is that he knew that I was able to play a big role in that defense for this team, and that I was able to be a leader on this team, and that's something I took to heart, and just something that I was able to understand. A lot of these seniors stepped up this year, and we also had a lot of guys that were younger that played big roles on this team. As a team, we got better every single week. And that was something that was really important for us, because if you go back and watch that first MRA game, we played a lot different ball game in that championship game that allowed us to be able to win the state championship. And that's something that we wanted to leave here at Jackson Prep, was to be able to knock off MRA with their three-peat and win a state championship. We dedicated ourselves every day at practice. I went 110% at practice. And then we would get there on Friday nights and on Saturday nights and just realize that, hey, we can do this. The feeling it was great. It's something that I've really never experienced before because you have that adrenaline rush out on the field when you're playing football. And I've won some baseball state championships and I've understood that, but being out there on that football field, you just realize that after winning it, you have a lot of relief. You know how hard you work in football. You prepare for the season all year round. Just being able to end on that mark and just know that everything that you have done, all the hard work, all the little things that you have done, it truly paid off. And football is a big part of the school, and we know that, and it's been a big part of the school for the last 50, 60 years that this school has been here. So we're really grateful for that, and we understand that has been a lot in the past is winning football state championships, and it's something that we have not been able to do the last couple years. So just being able to go out there with your teammates, your friends, your best friends, and all those guys that you've been there since day one with, it's really, truly special. It's something that you will never let go. Thinking 30, 40 years down the road, whenever you're later in your life, you'll always remember this.
Well, a lot went into it. You know, our players get up early in the morning and work out before school practically year-round. A lot of work in the summer, 4 days a week, all throughout the summer. And then, of course, when we started fall camp and football practice, and, you know, they put a lot into it. And it's a lot of hard work that goes into winning, period, but especially doing well enough to win a championship. You know, all the players bought in right away. They accepted me. The coaches were great. You know, everybody bought into what we wanted to do, and things got rolling, and we just tended to get better and better each week. I thought the team worked well together. I thought we had a real good senior class, and they showed a lot of leadership and brought the younger guys along. So I thought the team aspect of it was really one of the better things that was accomplished throughout the season, and hopefully, you know, that's a thing they'll carry over with them later on in life. It was an awesome feeling, you know, the joy on everybody's face is, you know, what you strive to get, and, you know, everybody was really joyful that night, and, you know, really happy for our players and for them to accomplish what they did, and happy for our parents and our fans as well, and our school and the administration.
It was really fun to be on the sidelines and watch the team win and watch the seconds go down, and we all just rushed the field and celebrate. It was so much fun. It was surreal. We put in a lot of hours and a lot of practice, and I mean, cheer is obviously different from football, but we all put it all out there just like them, and it was really validating to win. There was more anticipation, more kind of like tension in the air of what was going to go down the following night, but the most different was cheering at the game, like watching everyone stand up and all cheer together for your team. Well, my sophomore and junior year, we didn't make it to the championship, sadly. So this year it was kind of a surprise, but it also felt much earned and deserved, and it was crazy cheering in a big stadium like that and watching all the parents stand up and root for their children, and yeah.
Winning the football state championship was a great experience. It was probably the best night of my life. Just to see all of my guys so happy, all of the hard work paid off, all of the countless hours, the practices, getting screamed out by coaches, especially Coach Brewer. It really was just the best thing ever, the best feeling, and it was an experience that I won't forget for the rest of my life.
It feels really good when your hard work pays off and all the time that you contributed to a cause ends up really working and really going out in your favor. So it feels really nice. We had a lot more drive and determination than they've had in years past, I feel like, the past couple of years. And then obviously coaching styles, and overall team morale was a lot better this year than it was last year with Coach Turner. And so I think that the main things is just the morale, players, coaches, and then just how bad we wanted it compared to the seniors last year.
Coach Goodwin really switched things up kind of when he got here. Just his whole attitude, his demeanor. He wasn't as micromanaging. He understood that for us to be great, you know, sometimes like he had to let some stuff slide, or, he wouldn't raise his voice and scream at people. He was really calm and collected, and that kind of trickled down to our other coaches. I feel like this whole year, compared to the past 2 years, it wasn't as micromanaged, and there's a little bit more chill. It was more fun at practice. Just, understanding of we're doing what we love.
Unbelievable. That's how you do it right there, guys. The defense did it again, and that offense said explosion in the third quarter. Wow.
The Tire Depot, with locations on Old Fannin Road in Brandon and on Terry Road in Byram, they're your neighbors and they appreciate your business. More than just a tire store, they offer alignments, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, shocks, struts, leveling kits, and a whole lot more. They are family owned and operated. All of their techs have 20 years or more of experience. The Tire Depot, owned and operated by a Jackson Prep family.
Visit Eric Stallworth at Acura of Jackson, 828 Adcock Street, Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-978-2228.
Sometimes opportunities begin where the road ends, where pavement fades to gravel and the sounds of the city scatter in the breeze. This is life outside the city limits, made possible by financing from Southern Ag Credit. From farmstead to homestead and everything in between. Apply for your rural loan today at southernagcredit.com.
Hi, Chuck Smith here from Smith Brothers Body Shop. Smith Brothers has been proudly serving the Jackson metro area since 1946. We consider you to be our friend to ensure the best experience possible. If you've chosen a body shop in the past because they were right around the corner and had a bad experience, or you've been treated poorly elsewhere, come see what a difference quality service can make at Smith Brothers Body Shop. Call us at 601-353-5217. At Smith Brothers, you're more than a number. Smith Brothers Body Shop, the best from us to you.
Welcome back to Prep Talk as we talk about championships here at Jackson Prep. And we've talked about, of course, the football and the basketball and the baseball. And, those sports get a lot of airtime, and they should. But Coach Robichaux joins me now from the golf state championship team. And, Coach, welcome to the show and welcome to Jackson Prep. How's that worked for you here?
It's done great. So I came in just as a teacher, met Nell Bradford a while back when I worked at the country club. She wanted me to get me in here to eventually kind of take over her role, and so I waited my turn, and she retired, and here I am. So
I heard she was pretty good.
Yeah, she's really good.
Let's talk about golf for a minute. First of all, of course, back when I played in sports in high school, we wore leather helmets. So, this really shouldn't count, but golf has really come to the forefront, not only nationally, collegiately. I'm a big University of Texas guy, and they produce a lot of them out there. And now down into the high schools where it's very competitive, and these kids are working for scholarships to go to college. Talk to me about your philosophy about golf in high school.
So it's a little bit different from when I played, because when I played, I went to a Catholic school in Louisiana, and whoever wants to come out and play, you're on the team, because it wasn't that popular. Here is a different story. We have tryouts, and we have lots of kids try out. I have to make my fair share of cuts and things like that. And
you cut on the golf team?
Yeah, so we have, we'll have some, right after COVID, we'd have 20 guys come out, and I can only take so many. And so it's a little bit different here. So the competition's pretty strong. A lot of guys, a lot of the members that we have, or a lot of the players that we have are members at the country club or reunion or whatever. So they're already getting their other coaching in or whatever. I'm just there to kind of facilitate and set up the schedules and then help them with strategy on the course and when we're playing and things like that. But most of these guys, especially at the private school level, these kids are playing every day. Yeah. They have their one-on-one coaches and things like that. So a lot of them do want to play collegially, and it is, it's very doable depending on what level they want to play at. But we're lucky here to have kids that compete really hard for golf and go play collegiate level and do really well.
I go out and I take my grandson, he's now 9, and we go out to Bay Point because I got a driving range out there that's pretty much straight, and And a lot of times we'll see Madison Central kids out there and a bunch of academy kids out there. And I ask them how often they get out there, and they usually say as much as I can.
Yeah.
But here's my 9-year-old grandson, and he's watching those kids, and he's watching them hit the ball straight and everything. That's what he wants to do, obviously. And he said, Papa, I don't want to play like you. I want to play like them.
Yeah.
So even at a young age, my point is, even at a young age, you can pick this game up.
Oh yeah, I mean, all it does is take practice. People change their swings all the time, and that's just going out there every day and working on drills. And my wife gets mad at me all the time because I have 2 or 3 golf clubs in the house, and I'll walk around while I'm watching TV and work on my backswing or whatever. And that way, when you get to the course, you don't have to think about it. You just do it, and that's all it takes. It's just practice. You can pick it up at whatever age and do well at it.
Well, and we're talking about golf and the players and everything, but boy, the equipment has changed over the years.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell you how many drivers I have. None of them have worked like they told me they would.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of drivers. And I remember when the white hot putter was big. I got one of those, but couldn't hit the hole.
Yeah.
But then you have the 3-prong kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're improving the equipment all the time.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just money. They're trying to sell their product, so they always got to say there's a little. So every 2 years they come out with the new stealth driver or the new whatever.
Right.
There's nothing really different about it from the previous.
The screws
one.
on the left.
Yeah,
they got
they got something, or they know it's kind of like the iPhone where they know they're going to add something to the next one, but they're going to hold off on it.
It's a marketing.
Oh yeah,
thing.
it is definitely marketing because it doesn't help you that much. But every 2 years they come out with a new product and they got to sell it, so they try to let you know how it's going to help your game or whatever. But it's all about just going out there and practicing with what you have.
I've always had a hard time figuring out what my game was, but I do know this. The older I have gotten, of course, the slower I swing. But the slower I swing, I've actually been hitting straighter. And it's not about really how hard you hit that ball. It's how you hit that ball.
Oh, yeah. So, they got the graphite shafts and all that, and that help and all that. You got to get fitted. People always say don't just go buy a set of clubs off the shelf. You got to get fitted because it does make a difference. Because if you swing too hard from the shaft you have, you're curving the ball left and right or whatever. So, but yeah, the harder you swing, the more can go wrong in your swing. And so the ball won't go that far. The slower you swing, the more, consistency you have. And so, yeah, I'd always say that it's all about right before you hit the ball, how fast you're coming down, not how hard you swing. If that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have known that earlier. Let's get back to the kids at Prep now. They won a state championship. So the folks out there that don't know much about golf, they know about how to score in football and basketball and baseball. But what is the scoring? How does the scoring have to go in order to win a state championship in golf?
So every tournament we play in, you take 6 kids. You take the top 4 scorers per tournament. And so you add up all those 4 scores, and then the lowest number wins. So whoever the coach is or the pro, whatever course we're playing at, the kids start handing in their scores. They put the score down, and then once they get all of them, they'll take the top 4, write the big number next to it, what that totals, and you're looking to see who has the lowest score, or the lowest 2 or whatever. So nothing changes for state. Public schools play a 2-day state tournament. We play 1. And we're trying to maybe get that changed in the future or whatever, because you could always have a bad day.
Well, that puts a lot of pressure on
you. Yeah,
it.
and that just one day. That helped us out last year. A kid from one of the other schools we played happened to have a bad day, and we won because of that. So it helped us out, and I felt bad for the kid because you could tell it really hurt him, because I've seen him play all year and he never played like that.
Really? What course?
But, we played over at the
Jackson Country Club?
No, we played over in Hattiesburg.
What is Pemberton?
Canebrake.
Canebrake.
Yeah, we played Canebrake.
Oh,
yeah.
You played Canebrake for
the last 2 years. We played Canebrake, and so this one kid happened to have a bad day, and felt bad for him. But we took home state, so didn't feel that bad.
Felt that much bad for him.
Yeah. So, that's basically how the scoring works, and that way, if a kid's not playing well, they know they have 5 other kids to kind of back them up if they don't happen to play well. So it's not all 6 scores that count.
Can you substitute a player in? In other words, do you have any alternates that you take to the tournament?
We don't have any alternates.
If you go
to 6 and you play 6, sometimes depending on if there's room, they'll let you bring an individual to play where his score counts as just an individual score for individual champion, not for the team. Sometimes they let you do that. Sometimes they're full and they won't let you do that. But yeah, so the only way an alternate would work is if somebody happens to get hurt playing, then this person can go in and take this. That's never happened to us. So we're some pretty good athletes, and so.
Well, I've hurt some people, but I have personally never been hurt. They weren't looking for my ball.
Yeah, we don't
tattooed.
Yeah, we don't swing that hard. It's in order to pull your back out or whatever, like the pros do. So.
Yeah. All right. You had a young man I remember. Randolph.
Jonathan Randolph.
Jonathan Randolph. Now, what is he doing now?
I think he's selling insurance now. I can't be 100% certain, but I think he's done on the tour. He kind of served his time, kind of going back and forth between the Korn Ferry Tour and the PGA Tour. And he actually came my first year coaching, got him to come to our house to speak with the team at our family dinner or a team dinner, and just kind of talk to the kids about what it's like to play collegiately in pros and what it takes and all that. And
they need to know that.
And so he kind of talked to us afterwards and just said, he didn't really know how much longer he was going to be out there because it takes a toll on them traveling all the time, and if they don't, if they get cut, they don't make any money and stuff like that. So I think he just finally said it was his time to go, and now he's just kind of being an ordinary citizen.
I'm glad you brought that up, Coach, because the same thing happens in basketball and in baseball. I mean, you can have some superior guys out here, and they get to the next level, and they find out how difficult it is because how good everybody is.
Right.
And especially in basketball, everybody thinks they're going to play in the NBA, and the fact of the matter is maybe less than 1% play. So that's why here at Prep, it's good that they get those academics along with golf.
Oh yeah, so we have kids that'll go play collegiately, and they've been dominating the region, and then they go to play D1 or whatever, and they realize they're just another fish in the pond, and then they they'd still do well, but not to where they wanted, and then they kind of realize that maybe, this isn't something I'm gonna pursue, and they just play for fun after that.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
not going to be what's going to
right. So they'll still stay and get their, get a master's in something or do whatever, but most of them don't make it past college.
Well, we're talking with Coach Robichaux, who handles the golf team here at Jackson Prep, won a state championship. I think that was one of the things that got us that All Sports Trophy last year. Because I was watching those points, and when y'all's report came, I said, "Oh, this is it. This is our year."
Oh yeah.
They did a great job over there.
Yeah. So last year was a weird year because the 2 years before that, I think we won 3 out of the last 4 years, one state, and 2 years ago, we beat JA and MRA basically every tournament we played in. The only time we'd usually lose would be to Oak Hill, who's like, you can understand that.
Yeah.
So, and then we lost at state to JA. They just played great. And so it was one of those things where we beat them all year long. Yeah. They beat us. Well, last year we were in the same boat. They beat us every tournament. And we were kind of rebuilding slowly a little bit. And then state, we just came out and everybody did so great. It was a great, that feeling. I know we won my first year coaching. We won state by 47 shots, and that was Tim Zabney's last year, and he shot a 63 at Castlewoods. And wow. Will Burnham, I remember Will Burnham saying, "Coach, we won by 47." I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And I looked at the score. I was like, "You're right." And so the last year state winning that one, it had a different feeling because we weren't expected to win, and it came down to the last hole. And Will Burnham was our last player coming in, and he pretty much had to par it, and he parred it, and we won I think by 1 or 2 shots. Woo! And so it was seeing him after he made the putt, he knew what it meant because everybody's following it. It was cool to see the crowd of people.
That's great.
And he kind of broke down and came and hugged me, and the whole team came around, and it was just awesome to see that.
Got to be a made-for-TV movie in
that.
Coach Robichaux, we appreciate everything you did for us here at Jackson Prep. Congratulations on the state championship. We'll have more Prep Talk in a moment.
Visit your local Dunkin' at 403 Riverwind Drive in Pearl.
Hello, I'm Jason Womack with Womack Auto Sales in downtown Brandon.
We've been here for 25 years serving the community, and we plan on being here for another 25 years.
Came to Womack in Brandon. I was looking for a Tahoe. Walked in, the folks were good to me. Hey, look how I ended up leaving. New Tahoe.
Womack's Auto Sales helped me finance the truck of my dreams.
Come out and take a look at our new facility and meet our staff.
Take exit 56 to downtown Brandon. And remember, at Womack's, your job is your credit.
Malone is a company in motion, delivering award-winning roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. With the use of Suprema products like Alsan liquid flashings, Alsan coating products, and more, Malone continues to prove there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you.
At Community Bank, we're always by your side. From keeping your money secured to making payments a breeze.
Hey, do you have a medium in the pantry? Right here. It's $24. Enjoy the show.
And giving you peace of mind when you need it most. So you can get back to enjoying the show. Community Bank, a bank like no other.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. We certainly hope that you've enjoyed tonight's show. You know, a lot of schools couldn't have filled an hour today on this show to talk about state championships. I hope the kids here at Prep, and I've not seen it in my 20 years here, I hope they don't get complacent with winning, because the opposite side of that is not very much fun. I know that the year before last year, when we weren't able to get to the championship game, it stung, it hurt in football. It stung so much that they dedicated themselves to get back there this year. And not only did they get back there, they won it. What basketball was able to accomplish last year with two teams winning both the state championship and the overall championship in successive weekends is just amazing. I mean, there's a story there. And of course, then you've got golf and track and tennis and all the things that make up that board out there on the baseball field that has the All Sports Trophy. And when you look up there and see that Prep has won 31 out of 32 All Sports Trophies, you know how important championships are here, because that's how they determine the All Sports Trophy. You get so many points for a championship and so many for second place, etc. And with the talent that is spread around in the MAIS, especially in Division 6 here that Jackson Prep is involved in, you know how difficult it is to win even back-to-back state championships. So congratulations to all of those that came before this year's championships, but a real big salute to girls soccer and also football for bringing those trophies back home to Jackson Prep, where they belong. Big thanks to Peter Downing for producing today's show, for Bobby Gross and his JPTV class for doing these reports. We'll see you next time on another edition of Prep Talk.